The NBA is terrified of what just happened as the Houston Rockets cleaned up this offseason, and NBA GMs, executives, and insiders are realizing that the Houston Rockets are a team to fear. We'll tell you what everybody is saying right here, right now on Rockets Digest. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you joining us. Want to give a big round of applause to y'all real quick because on today's video about Damian Lillard, we had a 168 subscriber climb on that video alone, which is the top mark in this channel's history. I cannot believe the outpouring of support from y'all. And hey, we stepped up to the San Antonio Spurs Digest Challenge, and we are right next to 3,500 subscribers, all thanks to each and every single one of you. We appreciate it. It's no secret. The Houston Rockets this offseason have cleaned up, and maybe even that is lowballing it a little bit. If you look at the offseason roster and the additions for the Houston Rockets, it has been an absolute masterclass by Rafael Stone, starting from when he got Steven Adams on a 3-year deal. He then followed it up by extending Ime Udoka and making him one of the highest paid coaches in the NBA. After that, he went on a rampage. He got a trade for Kevin Durant done, just giving up Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks with a couple other picks. After that, we got to a couple signings. He signed Fred VanVleet to a more team-friendly deal and kept him here for an extra season as well. After that, what did he do? Oh, well, free agency started. He got Dorian Finney-Smith. He got Clint Capella. And I'm missing it, but he also got Jabari Smith Jr. on a new contract extension. This guy has been absolutely showing the NBA GMs and the executives of the world how to do it and how to turn your team from a contender to a top team in the Western Conference and a top team in the entire NBA. And a lot of executives are kind of starting to realize that. And that's exactly what today is about. Now, if we look at the latest odds to win the NBA Finals next season, Oklahoma City is still by far and away the favorites at plus 240. But then the Houston Rockets and the New York Knicks are tied for the second place odds with plus 750, right in front of the Cavaliers, the Timberwolves, and then the Lakers for, I gotta be honest, whatever reason. I know they got DeAndre Ayton, but I digress, and I don't think they're actually that good. Besides the point, though, talking about the Houston Rockets, there has been a lot of media personalities who are insiders and have talked to NBA GMs and have really kind of seen what the league is thinking about. We first start with Brian Windhorst, who listed his best offseason teams thus far, and the Houston Rockets were number one on the list, followed by the Atlanta Hawks, then the Denver Nuggets, the Memphis Grizzlies, and then the Los Angeles Clippers at the 5 spot. So Brian Windhorst, who again has a lot of pull, he actually also named Amen Thompson his breakout player of the 2025-2026 season coming up. So he has a lot of faith in this Houston Rockets roster, and kind of shows it off here by the moves they have made that he has seen Rafael Stone make this team even better than what they were when they lost to the Warriors about 2 months ago now at this point. I mean, we're kind of hard to believe, but it's been a while since that series ended the way it ended. Now, obviously, another big name in the media world, especially in the NBA world, is Chanaia. And he had this to say on SportsCenter, saying, quote, "When I talk to people around the league, they say the Hawks and the Rockets are, quote, cooking." And I could not agree more. Let's go into more detail about what the NBA is saying with Chanaia again on SportsCenter saying, quote, "Houston they've done even more business than Atlanta overall. We know about the Kevin Durant trade, but then tonight, they go out and they get Clint Capella at the center position. And Clint Capella is an interesting signing in my opinion, but at the same time, I think there's been a lot of NBA kind of executives and honestly media personalities talking about this. The Rockets succeeded when they were playing big basketball, when they got the double big going. And having Clint Capella, Alperen Şengün, and Steven Adams just allows for you to have a ginormous lineup on the court at any time, because you also have Jabari and Kevin Durant, not even mentioning about Tari, and then Amen Thompson is 6'7". Like, the height on this team is going to be spectacular. Now, when you add on to the fact that they also went out and got Dorian Finney-Smith, that makes this team even better. Chanaia once again saying, quote, "And then Dorian Finney-Smith. He was the most, I think, interesting free agent out there, and Houston, well, they have done a lot of business." Now, obviously, Houston did a lot in free agency kind of back-to-back. They haven't done much since. We obviously know about the rumors about them trading Cam Whitmore and what they're looking for in that. They're trying to get a player. That is a very clear story that we're going to keep and continue to follow. Jock Landale is going to be released here in the coming days as well. But it's nice to see that Dorian Finney-Smith is getting a little bit of praise because I think he is actually one of the more underrated signings of NBA free agency. I think in some ways people know what he can do, and when you see him playing with the Mavericks in those days and even with the Brooklyn Nets in the first part of the season, he looks like a top-tier player. And so when you add him as the Dillon Brooks quote-unquote replacement, he fits the vibe and the check perfectly. Like it is one-to-one exactly kind of what we were looking for in a Dillon Brooks replacement. He's a great 3-and-D defender. In fact, the Rockets now have 3 of the best non-big rim defenders with Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Dorian Finney-Smith. And I'm really excited because we've talked so much about Ime Udoka and how he continues to say the identity of this team will be defense. If I get a player, I want them to have some defensive background. I want them to be a good defensive player. And in some ways, this is not a slight to Jalen Green. I'm not trying to say this, but Jalen Green was not a tremendous defender. He was not amazing. And getting him as the way they did kind of out of here, and now you have a Kevin Durant and a really good defensive team with Clint Capella, Dorian Finney-Smith. Amen Thompson, I think, is one of the best defenders in the NBA, in my opinion. He was obviously first-team All-NBA defense this year as literally just like a young kid. Like, he's still so young. This team is going to be even better on defense this year than they were last year, which is a scary thought because they ranked first in offensive rebounds. They ranked top 5 in almost every defensive category out there, and yet they somehow, someway, Rafael Stone did his magic, and they are now better on defense than they were this prior season. Now, I mentioned Shams Charania and kind of his quotes, and I know that people have their opinions on Nick Wright, but I am going to show it because he always does a little NBA segment at the start a free agency area, and he has the Houston Rockets as number 1 contenders. And he says, I know exactly what they need, and they got it, quote. Now, we'll go to the full quotes here from Mr. Nick Wright as, again, I know the opinions on him. I don't think he is a great basketball mind, but why not go into it? Why not talk about what he's saying? He says, quote, the number 1 contenders, the Houston Rockets. I know exactly what they needed, and they got it. They needed a guy that they could trust in the final 5 minutes of a playoff game to get you a bucket. Good, got my words mixed up there. But either way, he is saying that they didn't have a closer last year. They didn't have somebody that you could trust to go out there and hit a clutch basket. We all thought it was going to be Jalen Green. We thought he was going to be the guy to step up, and it never happened. It never really got going. And the end of the game, it was more a Fred VanVleet or an Alperen Şengün play than anybody else. And so, for that reason, they got a closer, and his name is Kevin Durant, and he has been this type of guy for his entire career. Now again, are they getting prime Kevin Durant? No, they're not getting prime Kevin Durant. He's 37 years old. He's coming, he still had that Achilles tear back. I guess that was a long time ago now, but he has that Achilles tear in his career, and there is some times where he does have some injury-prone tendencies. But at the same time, he's still Kevin Durant, and that's exactly what Nick Wright says in his quote, and he also has an interesting talk about Reed Shepard. Here's the quote. Whatever version of Kevin Durant they will get will be an upgrade. They are still sitting on a 9-deep roster, and I am a Reed Shepard believer, end quote. You may think what you think about Nick Wright, but at least he's smart and knows that Reed Shepard is legit, and he is going to be a good guard in this league. Do I still want the Rockets to go out there and get a guard? 1,000%, because Reed is he's inexperienced. And I don't want to have to throw him out here into the fire this year, even though I think he could. I want to ease him into that. I want to have a guy with maybe a little bit more experience, a little more veteran presence that we could put out there and help Reed out. But in the same tone, I love what Reed Shepard has been doing in his offseason work, and I'm excited to see him in another season with the Houston Rockets where he's just about to turn 21. Like, this will be his age 21 season. That is crazy to think about. Yes, the stats are what they are. The field goal percentage isn't great, neither is the three-point percentage, but at the same time, he had a very good college career. He showed flashes of greatness in the times that he did see the hardwood, and I'm excited to see the growth from year to year. I'm not going to say that he's going to burst out and be a top guard in the league. No, but but I think he could be a very solid person in this depth chart. Now, again, he said that the Rockets were the number one contenders. That doesn't mean they were the top of his list. They did have the Oklahoma City Thunder as the champs, but if you look at Nick Wright, and again, I know there's opinions on him, however, he has the top two teams as the champs and the contenders with OKC and Houston. And also, I'm just going to point this out. There needs to be something done about the Eastern and Western Conference because this ranking right here shows you. Let's see the champs. OKC, that's the Western Conference. The Houston Rockets, they're in the West. The Los Angeles Lakers, definitely on the West Coast, so they're the West. You have the Nuggets, they're on the West. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they're on the East, right? No, they're on the West. There is not a single East team until the sitting right there tier, in which there are, again, 4 all there. But still, the fact of the matter is that the Houston Rockets are going to have to play against an Oklahoma City Thunder, even if you want to go as far to say a Minnesota Timberwolves team, if the way they've improved, and I said it, the Lakers, I don't think they're good, but still, getting DeAndre and having Luka and LeBron, they're going to have to go through them too. Not to mention the Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic and the people that they improved this year, getting Cam Johnson. Like, this Western Conference is crazy just to get to the finals. That's just to get to the finals. Then you got to play. I mean, I don't think anybody in the Eastern Conference has any shot in anywhere to beat the Western Conference this upcoming season. It would be, in my opinion, the shock of the century if, for whatever instance, the Bucks, Knicks, Magic, maybe the Hawks. I mean, they have a good team, but I don't think they have like a top-tier superstar besides maybe Trae Young. Yes, Kristaps Porzingis is on there, but I don't think he was that good with what we saw from him in Boston. And then Nickeil Alexander-Walker, great guard, but again, him and Trae Young, it's going to be an interesting thing. I don't see the Eastern Conference winning even like more than 3 games in the finals this upcoming season. So, I don't know. It's my 2 cents that the East and the West should have a merge, and there should be just one playoff situation. It shouldn't be the Western Conference plays the Western, the Eastern plays the Eastern, then you go to the top. No, it should be whoever has the best records, the 1 seed, and we go down from 1 to 16, and you play like that. 1 plays 16, 2 plays 15, and so on. Like, that's how I think each should be. That way, in my opinion also, it makes it more of a March Madness type tournament, and it would make it, in my opinion, a little more fun, but who knows, babe. Maybe I'm off pace, and it would make some more fun upsets, in my opinion, if like 16 beat a 1, exactly, So that's just the way it is, but hey, the Rockets have done some fantastic movements this year. What was your favorite move of the offseason for this Houston Rockets team? I want you to let me know in the comment section down below. Besides that, though, that does it for us. We appreciate all the support on our latest videos, and if you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate you're a real one, and I'm so glad that you're tuning in and enjoying the content. That does it for us here from H-Town. Peace out, guys.